Hi everyone, good day and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you're welcome. My name is Oluwatosin, and to all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. In my previous video, I made a tutorial on how to cut and sew this civil wedding dress, and I mentioned in that video that the series of this civil wedding dress will be in two parts, but is going to end up being in three parts because that first video is already the part one, is already a 16-minute video. This part two, I don't want it to be too lengthy because I want to be as detailed as possible. I don't want to skip the essential parts that I'm supposed to extensively talk about. That's why I'll be making this tutorial in three parts, and this is part two. If you've not seen the part one, you should check it out. The link is currently showing up on your screen, and the link will be down in the description box as well. And when you are done watching this part two, you should watch the part three so that you understand everything better. So, from where I stopped in part one of this video, which was me talking about how to cut the modesty panel, how to get the length and then the breadth of the modesty panel, how to know how wide the modesty panel would be. Continuing from there, when I was done with the modesty panel, I cut out the yoke. The piece that I cut out from the half length, I just placed it on my chantilly lace and I cut out my yoke, adding half-inch allowance all round for the front and the back yoke. The next thing is to attach the yoke to the rest of the half length. So I located the middle of the yoke and the middle of the half length. I pinned these two points together and then I used the lining to cover it up. I made sure that the three middle, like the middle of the chantilly, the middle of the rest of the half length and the middle of the lining, they are directly facing themselves, and then I turned the neckline with hemming gum. Please be generous with your hemming gum at this point. So when I was done with that neckline, I did not turn the armhole. I proceeded to turning the sides, that's the shaping side. But if you want to weave yours, you don't have to turn the sides. So I turned mine and then I flipped it to the right side and gave it a very good press, and I kept that aside. For the back yoke, I discovered that it's not really showing on this machine, so I had to put like a contrasting color underneath. That's why I'm trying to put that wine color underneath so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So what I would do is to neatly fold the neckline because I didn't cut two for each side. I'm using just one for each side. So I will neatly fold the neckline and then I will fold that arc. When I'm done folding the arc, I'll neatly fold the parts where the loop will be together with the loop. Like I said, I did not cut two, so I'm not using one lace to turn another. I'm just folding the necessary parts that is supposed to be folded. So the next after this is to attach the yoke to the rest of the half length. Just make sure your yoke is facing the right side of the half length and start from the shaping side towards the middle of the back. You will discover that there's like 1.5 or 2 inches allowance that the net will not cover. Just leave it like that and attach it to it like that. Keep that aside and come back to the front panel, notch the middle of your half length and the middle of the lower part of the dress. Make sure the two notches are facing each other. You should now sew the half length to the lower part of the dress. It is now time to attach the drape that is at the front to it. And with these things, you just have to get creative. So the first thing I did was to place the chantilly on top of it and pin it first before making my pleat. I made like 8 to 10 pleats in total. I measured where I want my pleat to start from and where I want it to stop. I marked that part so that I can know what I'm working towards, like what I'm pleating towards, so that I can know when it's time for me to stop my pleat. So as I was pleating, I was pinning it down on both sides, and I made sure that my pleat is perfectly arranged. When I was done doing this, I took this to my sewing machine and I just secured it down with two stitches, one on each side, and the point where the nipple to nipple is, I stitched it down there as well. I did not stitch it straight. I just slanted it the way the drape is slanted. You would not really notice this except you go close, very close to the dress. But that was what I did because this fabric is not stable at all, and I don't want to hold it down with hemming gum because sometimes hemming gum doesn't last like that. That was why I had to do that. So when I was done doing this, I mean when I was done sewing the chantilly lace down on my dress, I gave it a very good press. If at this point you are still with me and you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and don't just subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you'll get notified when next I upload a new video on this channel. So the next I did was to shape the sleeve. To shape the sleeve, I just faced the right side to right side. I folded it into two, making sure right side is facing right side. I measured around sleeve, around the bicep region. I shaped that around the three-quarter length. I shaped that. Then around the long sleeve length, I shaped that. I measured the armhole as well, and I just connected this point together, and I just took my hand out to follow the bell sleeve. Now the next thing to do is to join the two panels together, I mean the front and back panel. Please have it in mind that at this point I've still not turned the back. I've not turned that part where I joined the yoke to the half length. I've not turned it yet. So I'm doing this first so that I can measure the neck together so that I'll be able to cut the turtleneck. So I measured, and what I got, I cut it on this fabric. I folded my clothes on bias as you can see, and I measured what I measured on the neckline on this folded piece, and I added 1 inch allowance. I measured the length, I made the length 3 inches. Whatever you have measured inside the neckline is what you measure at the down, not at the up. Then I cut two of these because I'll be using one to touch another, and that is it for cutting of the turtleneck. And it is now time to attach the modesty panel on the back of the dress. So I'll be sewing this in between my lining because I don't want it to be visible. I want it to be inseam. The modesty panel, you won't see where I joined it. So to achieve this, on the side where the modesty panel will be, I love to put it on the left. I opened up the lining that I joined earlier, then I skipped 1 inch up, and from that 1 inch you will sew the modesty panel in between the lining. Now you will not sew it across the whole of the lining because if you do that you'll not be able to pipe the down of the half length. You know you're supposed to pipe the main fabric with the lining, but if you already attached this modesty panel up to the down of the lining, you won't be able to pipe it together, like it will get in your way. So I left 1 inch unsewn so that I can use that 1 inch to pipe it. It is now time to turn the back panel. So I'll be facing the right side of my lining to the right side of the back panel. I will turn the neckline with hemming gum. I will turn the sides, the center back and then the side back for the two sides of the back. Then flip it to the right side and give all of this a very good press. The next is to pipe the down of the half length after you are done turning and pressing. So you are going to get a straight piece, then you pipe it down with a piece that is not more than like 1 or 1.5 inch wide. I did that to both sides of the back panel. We are doing this because we are not joining, like we are not joining the lower part of this back panel to this half length just like that. We are just going to stitch it on top of it because like I said, it has modesty panel. So at this point, this is where we are. The next thing is to now attach the lower part of this dress at the back to the upper part, like to the half length. And at this point, I did not just turn the down and sides of the back panel, I mean the pencil part of the back panel. I also turned the up because I'm just going to match it on top of the half length like I said. But that will be in my next video. In the part 3 of this video, I'll be continuing from here So you should check out that video so that you will understand better. And when I was done doing all these things, I said this is the dress sitting pretty on the bride. Thank you for being with me from part 1 up to part 2 and then up to this point. In case you have not seen the part 1 of this tutorial, don't forget that the link to it will be down in the description box. And if you have any question, kindly ask me down in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it has been helpful to you, and in case you are not subscribed, kindly subscribe, and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when next I upload a new video on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.